Fears of more riots and unrest spread to state capitals and other local governments in the days leading up to the presidential inauguration. Good evening, and thank you for joining us. I'm Carlo Cicchetto.
I'm Marcella Lee, in for Barbara Lee Edwards. Governor Gavin Newsom is mobilizing 1,000 members of the National Guard ahead of President Trump leaving office. Even though we're told there haven't been any threats here, law enforcement across San Diego County says they are prepared. News 8's Heather Hope has an update on the precautions that are being taken.
And yes, San Diego police say they have had these barricades posted right in front of headquarters ever since the protests of last summer following the death of George Floyd out of Minneapolis. Just another reminder that law enforcement says they are ready for whatever could come.
Have the resources ready should they be required.
San Diego County Sheriff Bill Gore says although there have been no reported threats in San Diego or planned riots to take place leading up to the presidential inauguration, all local law enforcement is prepared.
We have the mechanisms in place, the structure in place to get those pieces of intelligence into the big mix so they can be properly analyzed to determine if we do have a problem. So far, we have not seen anything here in San Diego.
The safety preps come a week after the deadly riots in Washington, D.C. and following dueling protests that escalated into violence in Pacific Beach over the weekend. Sheriff Gore says officers often have to play the role of mediator.
Is trying to keep the far right groups and the far left groups apart as they demonstrate and yell at each other.
San Diego police declared the PB protests an unlawful assembly. San Diego Police Chief Dave Nislight warned via statement in part that if demonstrations do occur, violent actions will not be tolerated.
Even if you don't hear about a direct threat, but there is a general threat to attack every state in the United States, then that is close enough to home for us. And we want to be prepared for it.
For 8 months, the Carmel Valley for Equal Justice organization protests every Saturday in support of Black Lives Matter.
One message I think we have to preach is unity.
Nick Kakakis says his message for possible demonstrators is of peace.
Where possible, engage the other side peacefully and constructively. If you can't engage them peacefully, then don't engage them at all.
Now in D.C., as many as 20,000 National Guardsmen have been deployed to the Capitol. In Sacramento and other state capitals throughout the country, additional security measures are in place after the FBI announced armed protests are being planned in all 50 states starting Saturday through January 20th. Sheriff Gore says if you know of any possible threat, to always report it.
Please notify law enforcement.
Heather Hope, News 8.